All right, here we go. Hope everybody's having an awesome weekend. All right, here we go. Why am I
Hope everybody's
talking over
having an
myself?
awesome weekend.
Because I sent somebody the link.
All right.
Sorry about that. All right. Okay, for real this time. I think we are all good to go. Yes, looks like we're all good to go. Looks like the stream's like a little weak, a little bit chunky, but that's okay. We'll deal with it, right? Let's wait till a few people jump in here. What's up, E? How you doing? Pretty tough week. What's up, pals? Yeah, dude, I love your Nipsey painting, dude. I mean, I couldn't say it enough. That's like, I love that guy. It sucks because like I do outside sales though, and I'll have his stuff, like with my windows up. But then but then when I come close to anybody's actual house or being like kind of out in the public, because I have some signage on my car, it's like, yeah, I got to turn it down, roll it up. Yeah, I'm excited too. Every time this gets so much more fun for me, just with so many more people being in here. Like I think the first couple times I just kind of wanted to do it on a normal schedule, and um, yeah, it was just like me and one person, me and a couple other people. Yeah, Steven. Nice French, Steven. I did. Yeah. So not only I'm doing this and then I'm doing a podcast too on Sunday morning, tomorrow morning. And my girlfriend's like, you look kind of homeless, so you need to go see Tao. Tells my lady who cuts my hair. I'm doing really well. Yeah, dude. Yeah. First thing, man. Steven, I know I thank you all the time. Thank you so much. A lot of you guys are here. I don't know if you know or don't know it, but it's Steven's fault. He, man, awesome support. Got me hooked up with Logan. That's how we ended up did that interview, and Moz definitely helped facilitate that as well. So that was super awesome. Yeah, well, waiting for some stuff to go on. If you guys have any questions, let me know, and we'll start kind of going over some things. I did put together that one video, and kind of went through a lot of the stuff that I get asked on a regular basis. So that's kind of helpful. But one thing I want to put out there, and I know I've said it here and there, you guys are all like growing these accounts and stuff, and you probably make a lot of money. I'm sure you made a lot of money so far. It's kind of hard not to. With I know this last week has been a little bit more difficult, but as things keep going up and up and up, and you grow that, you need to be ready for taxes, especially with options or short-term plays, like when you're flipping a stock that's all short-term capital gains, which can, depending on your income bracket, it can be like 30-40%, and that's huge. It's a big number. Hey, Gwendolyn. I love that name. Dude, awesome. Actually, you know what I'm gonna do real quick? I'm gonna shoot my CPA a text. I'm gonna see if she can do a video with me, because there's certain things that her and I went over, and she was able to direct me, and that's why I'm opening up the LLC, and I'm going to be trading through that just to protect myself from all the capital gains. If I did that at the beginning of last year, I wouldn't be paying so much taxes at the end of this year. So as it stands now, it's like I'm going to pay more in taxes than my normal yearly income, which sucks, but hey. Yeah, I think she would. So, and then she'll give you criteria, like there's certain things that you have to fill in order to get trader status. And not only trading out of a separate account, but it's a certain amount of trades. There's kind of like rules of thumb. And I think it was somewhere around like 1,700 trades a year. And you need to be spending a certain amount of time on it. So you can't spend a half an hour a week on it in order to get trader status. But things like this, watching this video, being here, that counts as your time towards research. So whether it's YouTube videos, researching stock, or actually making trades, that all counts towards it. So, no, you cannot trade on Robinhood with an LLC, which sucks. They don't allow that right now. So that's why I'm going to have to move everything to TD Ameritrade. And that's taken way longer than I thought. So they said it takes a minimum of 8 days processing. First, you have to send things in snail mail, which of course takes forever compared to everything that we do instantly right now. And the process on their end, like once they receive it, takes a minimum of 8 days. They're short-staffed right now. Everybody's working from home, so it's pretty difficult. Yeah, I hope that changes too. But they've got their hands full. Oh yeah, so we did send out, yeah, we did get some pizzas sent out. Hope you guys do enjoy them. You're welcome, Christian, man. My pleasure. Super awesome. See some guys, hopefully some delivery drivers were pretty happy today. Yeah, it is like, the good thing about paying taxes, you're making money. You're right. Yeah, somebody's got to fund the stimulus checks. For sure. So whatever money we took out of the market definitely is going to go to some of that. So it's actually pretty funny because some people are like, oh yeah, but the taxes. Yeah, but if you wouldn't have made so much, then you wouldn't have had to. Let's see. If you need to close a spread, can you close it with the capital that is tied up in the collateral? I see what you're asking. Yes, like if you spent more than that, yes, I believe Robinhood will let you do that. And if not, if for some reason it won't, I mean, you could just like transfer money into there and close it, and then take the money right back out. But you should be able to. But if you're still at that 750, if I remember, like you did the 750, 755 somewhere in there, you're still good to go, man. If you do it through an LLC, it's like you're self-employed, yeah. And it's all my income from trading when it's in there will be recognized as just regular income. So it'll get taxed just like it's a paycheck, pretty much. So still a pretty high rate, as long as we're successful this year like we were last year. And so far it's been a good first, boy, we're almost to the first quarter. So I mean, our first quarter has been $120,000. Man, I wish I would have been able to open that up. But I made the mistake, and that's why I made the mistake. And I'm gonna keep harping on it. Is not talking to her like early enough, and if I would have been prepared, I could have done that starting the first of the year or even earlier. But I waited until January, and obviously I didn't know how well I was going to do. And then then I was like, help, what do I do? And I've done it with her before where I was behind on stuff, and she helped me out with another business that I have as well. Oh, let's see. Malik, you're welcome for the pizza, man. Hope you enjoyed. Like worst case scenario, yeah. Yeah, you should be able to, yeah, but you should be able to close it up. It should be fine. I think Tesla went up after hours too. So, I watch, just for really good Tesla information and stuff that's pretty unique. I think it's Singapore Chicken Genius or something like that, Singapore Chicken Investor. You can find him, but he is doing some technical analysis on it, and he was seeing 777 as one of the supports, unless it breaks down just because of overall market poor performance. But I guess we'll see what we have next week. Where do I see Tesla going next week? I think it's going to stay in the range that it is. I think we're going to keep hovering. I think we're going to still have like Thursday and Friday up and down, move sideways until the next big breakout. Yeah, not Tesla daily. I watch Rob too, but since I pay attention to the news on the front end, he's kind of recapping stuff that's still available, and I will and if there's something I didn't catch or an aspect, I'll definitely watch his videos. But let me see. It's this guy is like let me see. Singapore Chicken Genius, I think is his name. There he is. I'll just pop it in chat in case you're interested. This guy's like 95% of his portfolio is invested in Tesla, and 5% in Bitcoin, I believe, is what he's done. Will it be trading credit spreads on the I'm already happy. I have a couple on Palantir, and I'm just wanting to build a position in it. So I hadn't done my due diligence on it until I think Wednesday or Thursday, and I really wanted to dive into that, and so which I did. And the more I learned, the more confident I became in that company. So that's one I put an auto buy of $100 a day. I bought 75 shares on whatever it was, like at $25. We can look at my position on that. I think I paid like $25 or something. So I do have the two spreads, 24/22s, and I open those at the bottom. Where's my average cost? Sometimes I hate jumping back and forth between the mobile app, because this is the only time when I ever use the desktop almost. Today's return cost. Where is it? I know it's like $25 is what I paid for it. Oh well. It's probably right in front of my face too, isn't it? Oh. Do I need to make it bigger? I thought usually you could just, I thought it was somewhere like right in here. Oh, it just shows like the cost in dollar amount. That's weird. Oh well. So I'm probably not going to play any more put credit spreads on it. It was at a place where I thought was pretty much bottomed out. So since it dropped for like 3 days after earnings, so I'm happy with that, and I'm just going to keep buying it. That's one I can own 1,000 shares of. Right next to my Rolls Royce. The right side, 25.49. Oh, geez, yeah, it's too big. I was looking at all the small numbers, so 25.49. I swear to God, I know what I'm doing. How did I construct my M1 monthly dividend portfolio? So it's actually not even a monthly dividend portfolio. It is meant to be a daily dividend portfolio, and I used what is his name? Someone is doing like various like payouts. I used a lot of his research and put those together with like good monthly, daily, and quarterly payouts, and I just put them all together based on the dates. So I wanted to find a good a good or good enough company that that had a the decent dividend. I think overall it's like a 3.6 dividend, but for like my theory of what I'm going for is there's enough stock in different sectors. When one sector is down and everybody's generating some dividends, it's going to buy those companies automatically. And in M1, you can have it redistribute based on your pie. So anything that is low, it's purchasing. Anything that's high is not going to get purchased. And in case you guys are wondering, I can share that. And this is more of an experiment. I mean, it's done pretty well. I think the last quarter we're up, and I can show this. Let me first, I think we can share. I gotta share this guy. Oh, share this pie. And I think if you guys happen to use M1 and use this, I think we each get like $30, so that's pretty cool. So it's 10% for a dividend portfolio. I think that's pretty awesome. 10% up and $1,000 gain just over the last quarter, and we can go to the activity. So it's pretty cool. You can just kind of see everything just trickles in. I've been putting, what is it, like $25 in there every now and again, but you can see, $1, $2, $1, a couple bucks. So it's a couple bucks every day, and I'm just gonna let it hang out. I'll just keep doing the automatic deposits, $25 or whatever a week, and see what happens. I mean, it's definitely not any worse than having your money in a savings account, for sure. All right, let's see. Let me catch up a little bit here. LLC versus personal account, what's the total tax difference you don't have to pay? It could be 30-some% difference, because if you're taxed at a high short-term capital gains tax, so like if you're in and out of stock, it doesn't apply if you're just buying stock and you sell it over a year from now, but that can be 40-some%. And as far as in an LLC, that could be 5-10%, whatever the lowest is, just depending on how much you're getting. But you can literally not be making very much money, and these short-term capital gains, man, they kill you, and you really have to be aware of it. You have to set aside money for that and plan for it. I have some buddies who are great at technical analysis, and they send me the charts. Yeah, what are they seeing? $14 credit spreads for Tesla and $7 for SPY. Awesome. Yeah, those are great. Like, SPY is definitely a little bit better as far as less volatility. Obviously, Tesla's pretty volatile, but I mean, the highest one I wanted to open were around 750. I did make some that were farther out of there, but as far as stuff I would have recommended, I wouldn't have gone below 750, so it should be good there. All spreads are nice. Can you keep rolling out of money credit spreads for credit, and would you keep the same strike prices or raise it? What are the benefits? Good question. So yeah, you can totally you could roll them for the rest of your life out of the money, but the key is, in order to gain the maximum amount of premium, you need to be a little bit closer to the money. So for example, like last year, if you had credit spreads on Tesla, and Tesla is trading at essentially $200, right, pre-split, and you're gaining from that $200 when it's at $200, and you're getting like 20% on your money. If you kept it, so now post-split, that would be 1,000. Or excuse me, I guess the other way around. If it was 1,000 pre-split and now it's $200 now, if it's $200 now and you're still trying to do like a 200, I don't even think they allow those. But when you go further down, you're not gonna you're not going to get very much credit. Market's pretty fair. So right now, if we opened up a spread that was, 500, 490, you might get a couple pennies on your money. So you want to take advantage of it. So if Tesla goes up, you want to kind of raise that along with it to maximize your credit. How did it, let's see. Yeah, you got your, okay, so we got your pie. There's one of them. I have a few different pies that I experiment with. So, but none of them have returned to me what just having the put credit spreads for sure. But those I like just rarely think about. I have the auto deposit, $25 a week, and we'll see what it does. If you're an LLC, you can file a 1120S. So I don't think you can. I think you have to file as a C Corp and pass it on to you. So you pass the profits like directly to you. I'm definitely not a tax expert, but when we looked at both sides, that was one of the initial things that I thought I could do, because I have another business where I do that, and basically it's like you can't write off all that stuff, I believe, but not a tax expert. That's why I always push talk to a CPA. Question about defending. Apart from rolling, could you open up a call spread? And is that an iron condor? Yes, it is. Yep, that's an iron condor. The problem I have with Tesla opening up I have such a difficult time opening up the top of an iron condor on Tesla, just because like long term, looking at it, right? We go, oh God, let's let's get rid of some of these patterns. Okay, no show patterns. So like with Tesla, let's say, it took a dip here, and I have let's say we opened it up here, we opened up a put credit spread down here, and it's in the money, and we just have to wait a little while, right? We can just like roll it out before it goes up again. Same thing. If you opened it up here, it was a lot longer. It was for 4 months or so, but eventually it did go up. And same thing up here. If you open one up that was too low, like an 800, I mean, just looking at the trend, I expect this to keep going up. So you can always like roll those out to a point where the stock recovers. But on the top side, like when we saw this rip here from 400 to almost 800, what are you going to do with that top side? So if it's chilling at 400, you might have opened up your iron condor at 600, and then kaboom. And that's what scares me about the top side of iron condors on Tesla. I don't like it. I wouldn't do it. Correct. It's pass-through taxation. It's just for the ability to pay yourself as an employee and write-off. Okay, cool. Yeah. You must be you must know something about taxes, at least more than I do. But yeah, talk to a tax expert, talk to a CPA, for goodness sakes. It's free to talk to them. Most of the time they'll save you more money than you spend on them. It's not something like super fancy. I mean, you're not going to go spend thousands of dollars or anything. And a good one will tell you whether or not they can do something for you. You can have a 5, 10, 15-minute conversation, and they say, look, this is what we can do, and they can help you out on it. And a good one will say, no, you're not in a position to need my services, and go ahead and use your TurboTax or whatever. But I have a feeling a lot of you guys are going to have a lot more money, a lot more money than you're used to as far as income. Put credit spreads are the best strategy in your opinion? If not, what is? Put credit spreads, the best strategy in your opinion? If not, what is? Biggest loss. Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, it's the best it's the best strategy for me. I I like it. It's just I feel like I'm playing of the right side. Like I'm playing the casino. I'm not playing the gambler. And I make money if the stock goes up, down, sideways, and it allows me to leverage my money pretty well. I mean, seven whatever savings account is getting you hopefully like 1% a year. Good return on the S&P is what, 7 or 10, and we can literally do that in a couple weeks or a month or something like that and repeat it. But I think there's a strategy for everybody. You have to be comfortable with it. If if you're if you can't handle when it goes down and we see minus 10,000, 20,000, and you're freaking out, then probably not the best for you. You also have to know that it is extremely risky. You can lose 100% of your capital, so that sucks. Just selling like cash covered puts definitely way safer. And I'm thinking like when I have $1 million, I'll probably just do that because I'll just do it on a stock. I'll probably just do it on Tesla, something I don't mind owning. And at some point, you need to step back and just think about capital preservation. CPAs, an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. Yeah, 100%. And talk to your CPA early before you screw it up. I know you follow Tesla religiously, but when setting up a put credit spread, do you look for probability or percentage probability? Nope, I don't. It's just all price action, news, momentum. Is there any other way to collect premium while defending a position if you find yourself in the money? No. No, there's no other way. Like you're pretty much I mean you're losing at that point, so you're just trying to save it by rolling it out. And generally you can collect premium on doing it. Maybe you've answered this before, but do you ever do debit spreads? Yeah, I do them, and I have a Tesla one, right? And where are we going? Come on, Robinhood, where did you go? Did I close it? Oh, there it is. But I don't do them very often. I just totally have settled into put credit spreads. I'll also do verticals, which, I mean, kind of similar. Where is it? Here's my, oh, I'm sorry about that. There is my one. So I have 5 of these 820, 840s, which was the debit spread I opened up pre-split. That's why I have 5 of them. I initially just opened up one. But I don't need the huge upside. I'm fine. Like compound interest, if we're doing 5% a month, that adds up to a lot. I'm not trying to get rich next month, next year. I'm looking years out. So as long as I'm slow and steady, and it's 100% more comfortable for me. And on the debit spreads, I'll play them, and I'll play them on certain companies, but I just do it with a super small position size. So like these guys, I opened up forever ago. Yeah, $2. So I spent $1,000 on them, or excuse me, yeah, I guess $1,000 on them. So, but I have to wait too, and you just never know what that stock's going to do. It's just too volatile. Long term, I'm sure I'm going to see it here. So that's my one and only. Oh, this play, and I did another one for like 319. March 19th was one more, but I think it's up at 1,000 is where the strikes I played it. And I do play tons of other stuff, right? I have naked calls, naked puts, poor man cover calls or verticals. I play the wheel. Just put credit spreads are my real go-to. That's what I'm using to generate income. I saw your video on level 2 information in Robinhood. Do you ever take that into consideration when setting up a trade? No, honestly. It's just kind of like a quick. I use it to peek at and just to look at kind of like what's going on in the order book. But in reality, all that stuff, I mean, it can just flip. It can flip pretty quickly. It's just something interesting to look at. There's so much. I mean, you think about the amount of data that we have available to us. It is absolutely, it's just insane. What if your spreads are in the money and you're waiting for Tesla to go up for a couple months? Can you get a sign while you're waiting? Yeah. You could, but it's just super unlikely. Most people would rather just close their position and take the profits. A lot of people aren't going to have the capital to be able to exercise a portion of it, and since they're long dated, they're still, I mean, that's still their bet typically. I've only been exercised at expiration, and I think once on I think it was a naked one I sold, a naked put once. It was like on McDonald's or cash secured, sorry. And I don't really know why. And I've never had a credit spread exercised. If it's exercise, yes, you do lose all the capital, and the reason being is because you probably don't have the money to be able to buy them, right? So like when you're selling the put, you're agreeing to buy the shares. So you sell a $700 put, you're agreeing to buy 100 shares at $700, and most likely you don't have $70,000 available, which is why you bought the other one. But what you're going to do at that point is you're using it to be able to buy them, or excuse me, you're agreeing to buy them. I always get this a little confused when I'm talking through it, but you're basically making up the difference. Like, it's your money that is going to have to buy them at $700 and sell them at $695. So you're taking a $5 loss on 100 shares, and that's what your collateral is there to do. You should make a video on your losses since you've started trading. Yeah, I mean, you can always see like all my losses. I post them almost every single day. And I haven't had, the last real loss that I made that I had was it was probably right before I started posting. I mean, I have account value that's going down, but to me that's not a loss. So I haven't, it's been months since I did have a loss, and I just took that information, saw what I could do differently, changed my strategy a bit, and I've moved on. So as far as losing trades on these put credit spreads, I haven't had any for since I started actually kind of putting this stuff out there. If I could find the trades, the problem now with finding the trades is for the year, I think I have, well, it was before like 2020, I had 3,000 some trades. So to find that's a little bit rougher. Can I explain a poor man's covered call? Yes. It's essentially a vertical. So the first component is going to be a leaps, which is a call that you buy super far out, like a year typically or more. But for example, we'll take a look at some that I have. So we'll go down to, like, I have DraftKings, Dropbox, and Snap, right? So DraftKings I'm down a little bit on, but I bought this expiring January 20th of 2023. So I have a long time. I'm bullish on DraftKings. Now, a lot of people use the criteria when they're buying these, and they're looking for at least a 0.7 delta on the, and that's on the Greeks. It's basically, if you think about it, it's like it moves like 70% of the shares. So it's kind of moving like it's a, like you own 70 instead of 100. For me, I can just buy it as far in the money as possible. It doesn't really matter to me that much. And it's something that I'm bullish on anyways. So you have this thing sitting there, and at any point, because you bought this, you have the right to buy DraftKings at $50. So it's essentially like owning the shares. It's pretty much a simulation, except for it's cheaper. So when we look at the cost, so we paid $2,700 for this. So basically, instead of and I bought this guy out of the money, but we have a long time on it. And this is actually, let me go to one that I bought in the money, because that's a poor example. No. Don't have this many options open. Where's Snap at? 65. That one's barely in the money. Let's see here. And I don't think Dropbox is in the money either, is it? Nope. Anyways, it doesn't. I guess it doesn't really matter. But say Snap's in the money. So, and did I buy? There we go. So Snap, I bought this for $1,700, which is way cheaper than me buying 100 shares, right? 100 shares would cost $6,000 or $6,500, and I still have the upside on it. And then what I do up until that expiration, so I have all the way until January 20th, 2023, and then I just sell calls against it. And it's the exact same as you actually owning the shares, except for we have a time limit on this. So like for March 19th, I'm selling an $80 call. And I can sell that because if Snap happened to go up above 80, I'm obligated to sell somebody 100 shares at 80, and at that time I could execute or exercise the $60 call that I have long dated, and I'd be able to sell them for 80. So right now, let's say that's my absolute worst case scenario, is the $60 call that I bought for $1,700. I have to buy 100 shares at 60 and sell them at 80. That's my worst case scenario. So I make a $2,000 profit now, and I still have a whole year, over a year, a year and 9 months for that call to go up. I'm bullish on Snap. That's why I bought it, and I also have all that time, and I can continually sell calls against it. And that's the basics of a poor man's covered call. Most people are buying with a 0.7 delta. That's kind of the rule of thumb. But I personally don't look at that. I just look at where I think the stock will go, where I think is a good call to buy. And if it's much less than a 0.7 delta, that's fine with me. Sometimes it's been above the price, and in which case I'm fine with that, because I still know I have a year, or a year and some change to be able to sell calls against it. At a short leg at 765 this Friday. Closed my spreads at 355 when Tesla was around 379 or 779. Yeah, you can close them. I would have rolled them out. Yeah, and my quick losses. This is like my quick summary here. We'll take a look at the year. My quick summary. You can see it's negative 51,000, but that's because I've withdrawn 51,000 from this account. But started with a small amount of money, 575, and this was my super on fire lucky. Played a bunch of calls, or played a bunch of puts on Spy Airlines, Carnival Cruise Lines, probably Expedia, and made a ton of money really quickly off the bat. And then this downside here was me thinking I'm invincible. I know exactly what I can do. Traded sideways for a while. Was really tired of just basically being stagnant over months. Like I'd win some, lose some. You know, buying some random things on some different stocks, and then after that. That's when I switched to put credit spreads. This drop right here, I think I got a little overconfident in my positions on Tesla, and I did not roll out like I should have. So this is one of the lessons I learned about not rolling them out fast enough, not buying them out far enough to where there's enough extrinsic value that I can roll them out, and also waiting till the last minute to manage them. And then I fixed that with my trading style, and here we are. I had 100 spreads and was not comfortable. Oh, yeah, 100 spreads is a lot. But yeah, I wouldn't be either. That's yeah. Even my little bit far dated 760s or 765s I had, which is above where I should have opened them. I mean I didn't close them. I rolled them out. I'm thinking I think I'm making my spreads safe. My highest strike price is 660. Yeah, dude. Yeah, that's totally safe, dude. You're just gonna grow like small and steady, and it doesn't look like a lot of premium, but you know, a year from now, you just won't give a crap. Just be like, yeah, my stuff's 10x now. How have I ever tried scalping options? I have, for sure. That's one of the smaller things that I do is I'll just play the news. That's a good time to do it. What indicators do I like to use on Thinkorswim? None. I don't really use the indicators. I'll have like RSI up there, but I don't really use it for any of my setups. And I'm not a day trader. I think that's more useful for that. Do I have any strategies you use for buying naked calls or puts? No strategies. I mean, those to me they're gambling. I definitely do them and I buy them, and I've taken quite a bit of. I've won a lot, and I call it winning because I feel like it's just playing. I've won a lot and I've lost a lot. Do you manage your put credit spreads at touch of strike price or once it's blown through? Oh, I manage them before a touch of the strike price. I manage them as soon as I'm uncomfortable, and I try to do it as quickly as possible, early as possible, and roll them out. I don't want to wake up Monday and have to check the strike price every the stock price like every 2 minutes. I don't want to yeah. I just don't want to do that. So as long as it's, a month out, 6 weeks out, it can handle some up and down without having to worry about it. I mean, like Thursday, Friday, maybe Wednesday, people were literally like watching it like tick by tick by tick. and that's not what I want. I have other things to do. What do you use for your news? Oh man, everything. I use I mean everything from like press conferences. There's boy, Elon's tweets will move things. Our former president's tweets would move things. Bloomberg, anything coming out on Thinkorswim, but it just depends what it is. Like as soon as we saw Capitol riots, I played that one with Smith and Wesson, and it's something that I saw the trend a couple times. As soon as things are going crazy, people want guns. When Trump was talking about how we're going to deal with the pandemic and what stores were going to be facilitating like drive-through testing and stuff, you could see him go, Walmart, and then Walmart stock, boom, Walgreens, boom, Target, boom. Like as soon as he mentioned anything, Moderna, like you just see the words leave his mouth, and the reaction is so dang fast that you have time to scalp it or play it. What advice would I give to someone starting off with $1,000 and solely wants to trade credit spreads? I did start off like that. I actually have a second account on Tastyworks, and I started that one with $600 in June because this account, the Robinhood, became successful, and I was like, well, can I reproduce it just starting off with $600? I was trying to tell a lot of my friends and coworkers. I was like, you guys need to do this. And this is part of the reason I'm here talking to you. Those guys didn't listen to me, and they're still where they're at. So I tried to give them some knowledge. They didn't want to take it. They're like, oh yeah, okay, good luck. And so I did it again. And one of them, she ended up pretty much copying the plays in there, and she's done really well. So she's like, well, I don't have that much money. She started from $600. I would do something super far out of the money, super safe, because with $1,000, you don't have a whole lot of chances to start over. So that's what I did. I started $600. I think it's up like 12. I think it's like 12,000 now from that 600. So we're up. What is that, like 2,000% or something like that? 7% a year, suckers. Right? Yeah. If you're gonna do that, just own AT&T. Actually, and then one guy, I've had one, my office manager, she's been kind of copying plays and doing really well. And then another guy who no longer works there, but he started doing it and started doing credit spreads for a while, and then he decided he was a genius and going to go with all these like meme stocks. Lost everything, plus negative $2,000 that he started with, and his wife told him no more. Trade Apple or study stocks. Learn how to make a few bucks a week to learn. That's actually super smart. Yeah, and I guess I should take a step back and go, if this is the first time trading into stuff, yeah, do some Johnson & Johnson, some AT&T, some 3M, something super stable, and try to make a few bucks. That's really smart. Start small. It's until you're comfortable with what's going to happen. Most of the time, right when you open it, you're going to see some down. You're going to see some negative. Kind of know what that's about, and be comfortable with it. Unless you just happen to open it and the price just goes up and up and up, and almost slowly, because if it goes up too quickly, then you're going to have volatility that kicks in, and you might be negative on it even though it's moving in the right direction. Do I have any videos posted on my Tastyworks account? I think I probably opened it up a couple times during live streams, but nothing specific on it. I literally touch it like once a week. All my spreads have been really safe, super far out of the money. There'll be a couple weeks where I'll just forget about it. They're long dated, so really super low maintenance. But yeah, I just open it up, put $600 on there, open the first one, and went from there. Rolled it out a few times until I had enough for 2, and then just multiplied from there. Are you testing out Thinkorswim before you move to TD Ameritrade? No, I've had a TD Ameritrade account. I actually in the in TOS I have quite a decent amount of stocks. I have decent amount of holdings in that one, and I opened it. When did I open that? I think I opened it when Robinhood crashed. Remember those couple days, if you had it, or you almost couldn't avoid it on the news. But they had a few days where everybody was locked out of their account, and I wanted a backup brokerage so I could make some moves or play during the day. So that one's mostly just holding equities. And I also wanted it for stock that you cannot buy on Robinhood. So I hold like Planet 13 Holdings is in there. I think I have 720 shares that I bought for about $1. And that stock I think is, what is it, $7 now or something? But you can't buy in you can't buy in Robinhood. Let's see. 13. Okay, so it's $7. But you can't buy that in Robinhood. And that's why I do have Thinkorswim too. And the platform's just great. Like you're not gonna get the charts, you're not gonna get the news as quick and as much of it as you're gonna get on Thinkorswim as compared to Robinhood. Just for clarification, when you do credit spreads, isn't that the same thing as a vertical? Yeah, it's just with different dates. The confusion is between a what do people call them? A calendar spread. They call it a calendar spread, and a calendar spread technically is at the same strike price. I see you open up spreads. Man, I see you open up spreads for 20%, and I'm just like, man, can I handle something that close to the price? Good for you for recognizing that. Whether or not you can handle it, yeah, it can be stressful. And if you can't, don't do it. A lot of people are not meant to play stocks. And I mean, what's the correct thing to do? Probably not what I'm doing. Just because I'm right, just because I've been profitable, doesn't make me right. Just because somebody loses money doesn't mean they're wrong and they played it incorrectly. But again, Tesla's, I'm just very confident, very comfortable with it. And I see some of the bad news or bad information that comes about, which pushes the stock down, which makes me even more confident, because I was like, well, that's just something stupid. It's people that don't know it or own a car, like they don't own any of their products, and they're judging it based on what they think that means when it is not true. So like somebody will come out and, oh, now we have 500 miles range or 600 miles range, and practically it just doesn't matter. It doesn't. I've used Model S's that I think only have maybe 200 miles range or something, 240 I think at the best, and it's just fine. I barely. I've put 20,000 miles on my Model Y. I've only had it since June, so I drive a lot. And I've never, unless I'm going on an actual road trip, have charged outside of my house. Not once. Would you be willing to show us the Tastyworks account? Yeah. Yeah, I'll do a video on that. I'll show the stuff I have open. Do you plan on adding heavily to Tesla credit spreads or adding any other high premium stocks? Yeah, I mean, I'll continue. I will just continue to open up credit spreads on Tesla. I'll open them up every week, most likely, or roll them out. And what do you mean the high premium stocks? Like overvalued stocks, or high premium as far as like the credit spreads? I think you're asking about like a high volatility stock so I can take a lot of premium. Besides that Palantir that I played, but I didn't play it that heavily. But I did take a 50% premium on that. So that was $200 at risk with a $100 premium, which is super awesome. Probably not, like I'll do one every now and again, but just not as a rule of thumb because again, I know it's not correct to have so many eggs in one basket, which I do. I recognize that, and I'll take ownership of that. And if I lose back 100,000, so what? That set me back a quarter, and I'm lucky to have this money to be playing with in the first place. So that's like my worst case scenario, but it is, and also in the account I've built up almost 200, I think like 180 shares now. So I'm fine with that. But I just know that company so well. So it's hard to not do it on, it's hard to do it on other stocks that I don't know as much about. So like show of hands, how many people own stock that they've never purchased from, or, you know, they haven't spent $100 on the company, or they haven't, you know, they haven't even been on their website. It's insane. Like, if you're buying into something or playing it, you definitely can do well playing the news, following other people or whatnot. But if you're going to buy into it or play it, you really should know the underlying. At least that's my theory. How do I love the Model Y? I absolutely love it. I don't want anything else ever, ever again. Maybe until they come up with a new one. My girlfriend will be getting the truck. But it's like perfect. It's absolutely perfect for me. I mean, we had some pretty good snow. It's like perfect in it. It actually fits full-size adults in the back, and it's just a pleasure to drive. And it keeps getting better and better as software gets updated. It's really neat. Like you can look over at a car that's, you know, $90,000, the latest Mercedes or BMW or whatever, and you're just not jealous at all. It's not like, oh, I wish I was driving that. Other cars, when you get in them, and you know, when you have like your Model 3 and then you go get into another car, you're just like, this is so stupid. You're like, why is it not just driving down the road? Why am I having to push the button to open up my garage door? Why is it not parking itself? Like, and I'll do stupid stuff too when I pop into somebody else's car. Like I'll just need to move it out of the way for something, and like how come it's not just ready to drive? Oh yeah, okay, stick the key in, whatever, and then I'll hit the blinker or windshield wipers or something, because that's how you put a Tesla into drive or reverse. And then I'll just get out and leave it running, because you don't need to turn off a Tesla. Just get out and walk away. But I love it. I actually used Turo to rent a Model 3 for a few days before making my decision, because it was like all my research said I love it, but let me just 100% make sure before I put my money down. And so I took that out for 3 days. I do like comparing the two. 3 definitely seems way more sporty. Like if you love sporty cars, 3 is the way to go. It seems zippier, and obviously it's just not as tall, so it should probably handle more or handle better. With the Y, I like the fact that I actually sit up in it. And I would love to have the X, except for the gull-wing doors scare me a little bit as far as long term. Like, are they gonna just have tons of problems? How cold does it get? It gets just like 20s, and for a short period of time. I'm in Seattle, by the way, a little bit north of Seattle. So we'll see. I mean, honestly, we used to see snow once every only like 5 years, and then once maybe every year or two, like we'd have a really, really light dusting. But I've been over the pass or passes in it, so I've been driving through 3-4 inches of snow on the pass, and it's no problem. Definitely have less range. You have less regenerative braking, so it's not as much range in those conditions, but still fine. Thank you again for the pizza. Dude, you're welcome. What do I think about selling far out of the money credit spreads a month out for 5%. Dude, I love it. Any flaws in your opinion with the strategy? No, I love them a month out. A month out, and that 5%, that's going to be super low risk. I'm looking for 20, which is maybe a little bit greedy, but 5%, that's fantastic. You're probably you're in the 90s for as far as probability of profit. I don't know what you have to do on 3M or AMD. I haven't looked at those in a while. I own some of those, but and I used to do them, but I've just been, of course, sticking to one. But yeah, I think that'll be a great strategy. I think if you just do it consistently, keep a little bit of money on the side in case you need to spend it to roll stuff out, you're good to go. Do I ever set up loss orders? Nope. The most that the most I did with Tastyworks, I set up automatic closing orders when they reached a certain amount of profit, like a 95% profit, I'd have it automatically close. But my last loss prevention is when it gets outside of my comfort zone, I roll them out. That's it. What do you think about call debit spreads? I think they have a time and their place, and I mean, it's the only thing I don't like about call debit spreads, and I do have like 2. That's it. I have 2 out of my whole account. Well, I mean, I own 2 different strike prices, 2 different dates, but I have maybe 9 or something total. With those, I don't like the fact it has to go up. If it goes sideways, you lose. If it goes down, you lose. The thing I love about the put credit spreads, up you win, sideways you win, down a little bit you win, down a lot I roll and protect it. How frequently do you have to roll out your Tesla put credit spreads? What are the safe short puts? Let's see. So I don't generally open them just a week out. I like to open 4 to 6 weeks out. A lot of people do a lot shorter term. And if everything goes well for you, you'll do better like that because you're gonna collect more premium selling them week by week by week by week than you will 4 weeks out. But the problem I see with selling it for like 226 is the fact if it goes really heavily against us, we can lose all of our extrinsic value and we don't have enough to be able to roll it out. You'll have like literally dollars left, so you'll have to pay to roll it out, which maybe is not the worst thing, but for me, in my comfort zone, and if you're doing it, you better be watching that thing day by day too. But and if you're so far out of the money, like let's take a look. Why not? I haven't done any clicking today, so we'll take a look at 226, right? I mean, where are we gonna have to be? I mean, how safe is safe? Let's chance of profit. If you want something safe, what are your 700, 690? That's actually looking not too bad. It's a $40 credit, huh? Yeah. That's a $38 credit for $500 collateral. That's not bad. I'd do that. I just personally like having more time, just in case. I mean, this next support can the next support if the whole market tanks, Tesla tanks, is probably going to be somewhere around that level. Josh, you're super welcome. Thanks, man, for being here. I made a rookie mistake and bought 5 calls on SLV at 179 when the whole GM thing was happening. Yeah. Do I just close them out or sell puts? What's a date on them? I mean, I would just close it out. I would just consider like you said, it was a mistake. Close it out. Get it off. Get it out of your sight, out of mind, and take the lesson. Take that $160 lesson, and just remember, everybody wishes they would have gotten on GME or even the silver run up initially, but that's part of just playing meme stocks, right? 319 calls. Yeah, screw it. I do that sometimes. I'm like, this was stupid. What was I thinking? Get it out of here. But a lot of that stuff now is literally like 0.1% of my portfolio, and I'll play those things. And it's like, yeah, that was dumb of me. Learn my lesson. Move on. Take the money. Take your whatever you have left. Your $15 a pop. Did you say how many you had? 5. Oh, you have 5. Take your $75 that you have left and just I don't know what you're gonna do on them with your $75, but hey. Yeah, yep. I should have done a spread at minimum, even a debit. I mean, for me, I don't even want to play those silly things. There's not a whole lot of point to them, I think. I mean, yeah, you can get lucky, but yes, you can get lucky, but you shouldn't be doing it with so much of your portfolio that it makes that big of a difference. Like, I'll play things that are like little, and oh boy, I changed $20 into $100 or even times 5, and I have $1,000. But I mean, I can see $1,000 tick in my portfolio, like literally a tick up and down. So at the end of the day, I don't know, was it worth it? Do you look at implied volatility to factor in your decision for picking out strikes like Moz does, and look at the range, etc.? So yes and no. I don't do it like Moz does. Moz does everything correctly, but I don't need to look at the actual like IV numbers to see what the volatility is. If you understand what volatility is, right, the stock just moving up and down, because I look at Tesla every single day, I can see whether or not the stock was moving up or down a lot. And that's part of being super familiar with this one stock, which is why I don't jump around and play other things too. I mean, he does it very strategically. Check out UAMY for the long term. What is UAMY? United States. Is this like a penny stock? What's the news on this? What was the catalyst for this thing? Looks like it's kind of wedging there. United States. What is that? Antimony? I don't even know that word. A natural resource company. So late Thursday. It had received a warning letter from the New York Stock Exchange American for violations relating to the non-underwritten sale of an aggregate of 26.3 million shares of the company's common stock. Thanks, but no thanks. Oh, let's see. Where's... Hey, did you look? Okay, let's see. Yeah, learn your lesson. Yeah, the lessons are expensive, right? Like education, college is expensive. But the lessons we learn here, they're quick and fast. And when they're super expensive lessons, we learn them really well. It gets really ingrained into your memory. I know there's stock I should have bought that I got burned on, and I probably should be looking at it again, but I'm just hot. Nope. Let's run. By the way, that's $1,000 collateral for that spread you have up. Which one? The was it the Tesla spread that I had up? I don't even know which one did we have up. Oh, that one. Yeah, seven. Yeah, I'm so used to those being $5. Yeah, so 38 on our 1,000. Yeah. Okay. Still not terrible. That's not the worst thing. I mean, if you compounded that every week, not terrible. Have I read any of the financial or the heavy educational options book like option? Nope, I have not. I would love to. That's one thing that's definitely on my list. As soon as I'm moving right now. Bought a house. So this will probably be my last week or so here, just in the middle of buying furniture, getting appliances, and all that stuff switched out. So, yeah, I would love to have just a stack when I have time. This is becoming more and more time consuming than I ever would have thought. Do you have a video of how to roll spreads in the event you get too close to the short strike? I probably have 20 videos with me rolling credit spreads. I mean, I can do one right now. It's of course I use the mobile app normally, so usually it's probably about a 2-second deal. But we will. Where do we have some? I know we have some March 19th. Let's get rid of these. And where do we have some? All right, so we have some 750, 745s. We have 28 of them, and this is super easy. So the ones you sold, you hit buy, click on that. The ones that are plus, you go to sell, and you click on the plus there, and then depending on what the price has done, so let's say the price has gone up to 900, it broke 1,000 or something like that, and now you want to move these up. So now we go out to now we go out a few weeks. Like let's pick April, and the price goes up to 1,000. So now you're comfortable at 850. You go to a 750. You sell the 850. Click buy, and you go to the one underneath, and you can see you'll collect an additional $2 credit each one, and that's it. That is rolling one. Enter your price. You want to do, I can't remember what we had, I think 26 or something like that, or 43. Enter a price, a little bit under usually is what I do just to get a quick fill, and there you go. That's it. Oh, they say, do you want money or do you want to pay money? So that's pretty much it. But you'll see me do this, like, if you just like watch my videos every day. I'll definitely be rolling out some because I have ones expiring. I think I just did one. I probably did one on Friday. Oh, so we have one expiring next week. Where are these guys at? They're not really at 87. I hate that last minute when the option chain gets screwed up, but probably at 60 cents. So I was gonna wait till a little bit lower. So I'll roll these out next week, so you can definitely see that. How do you look at the charts and technical analysis? What type of indicators do you typically use to see how a stock is doing or where it is headed, etc.? I don't use technical analysis. Not at all. I can't say not at all, but very little is part of what I want to do. So like for equities that I just want to buy or I'm very bullish on, I buy the stock. I want to hold on to it for a long time, or I'll buy leaps on it, and that's it. I'll also, and I'll look at the price history, and if there's any recent news, I'll look at that and take that into consideration. But as far as doing anything past that, I just don't. It's not helpful for me and my strategy at all. How much are houses up there? A decent house here starts about 500,000 ish, 600,000. Maybe 800,000 if you want something that's pretty good sized. If you want to be closer to Seattle, in an okay house, they're getting to be touching on $1 million. UMAY, a rare metal that will be used on electric cars, batteries. Bill Gates. I'm not putting a lot of stock in Bill Gates' opinion on electric cars for some reason. I don't know. Elon's been called not an engineer, but he seems to kind of know what he's doing. I love following your Tesla alerts you post in the Discord. Hopefully you continue to do that for us for safe plays. Will you do? Yeah, I'll probably do more next week. And most of them, yeah, I think those last couple that I did, they were super safe. When you close a credit spread and you have to pay, does it use your collateral or do you need buying power? So you don't need to use your collateral. Like, you'll get the collateral back as soon as you pay it. So you're using your buying power, but then you're getting the collateral back. So even if you're closing it as a loss, you'll see your buying power goes up. So if you opened it for $100, it decays, and you close it for $20. You basically, when you sold it, you got when you sold it, you got that $100, and then when you close it, you're minus $20 like out of your total. So you'll see your total account go down a hair because you don't have that cash taken out anymore. So you'll see the difference between the collateral and the amount needed to close it. And it should be able to do it regardless of whether or not you have money outside of the collateral. When you close a credit spread, okay. Yeah, and Jacob, I'm not sure. I haven't been that close to like not having any money to close it, but I believe Robinhood you can. You don't need to have the collateral. One of my spreads did the same thing at close. Detached. How do you measure performance of your trades? Do you use a trade journal, something like that? Or where is a good software you can use to measure? I think if you really wanted to do that, I think documenting it like on a spreadsheet would be good, and then making notes to yourself. I would if anything, I would want to journal like what exactly was my thesis at this point, like when I opened it, so I can look back and ask myself what the hell I was thinking back then in case a trade goes against me. But my overall performance, I just, I'll look at the last 3 months and go, all right, up 121,000, so it's 111%. Okay, good. That's it. Do I trade on margin? Yeah, I use margin for collateral. For sure. Do I ever do iron condors? Yes. I had an Apple one that I had a couple weeks ago, and let's see, what was the other last one? Maybe like AT&T. I did a couple of those, but I don't do them on Tesla because I don't like the call side, just in case it gets driven up. And I think right now the market's too volatile. Like the amount of premium collected isn't worth it, and it can definitely move way too much. And I feel like I could lose on a iron condor pretty easily. right now. And most things I'm pretty directional on that I want to play, so I'll just take the side based on my thesis. Do you have to close the credit spread, or can you just let it expire? You can do either one. So you can let it expire. I would not let it expire. Things can move after hours. If you look at the story about the kid who committed suicide over thinking he owed, I don't remember how many hundreds of thousands of dollars, but you can look at how it could possibly happen. And if for some reason news came out, whatever your time is, for me, it closes at 1, like 101, and something just happened to just dump, you can lose heavily on it. And for me, that's not worth the $1, $2. Yeah, 700,000. That's nuts. Do you choose? Let's see. Do I choose credit spread strikes based on support? Which method do you use for support and resistance? I use price action. I use news. I use volatility, but I don't have a specific method. Like I'm not a technical trader. I just have seen the history of what the price action of the stock that I most often trade on. Ark bought Tesla again Friday. Nice. Jason bought Tesla again Friday and Thursday and Wednesday. In case you guys didn't know, I buy $200 worth of Tesla every single day. So every week, at least I have an extra share. And at least I'm sticking my profits into straight up equity. And I want to own it. I mean, that $200 I'm sure is going to be $1,000 in 5-10 years. How much are you charged for that margin? I'm not charged anything on margin. You're not charged anything unless you use it. So if it's set aside for an options play, there's no use. But if like you were to take it and buy equities with it, then you're charged on it. So I never use the margin. I never like spend the margin. Oh yeah, he didn't owe anything. I thought he was negative on it though, but I could be wrong. And I know like after out like, oh yeah, like here, December 16th, 17th, I did not actually have a $70,000 like minute. So I think that was, I can't remember what that was, earnings, battery day, who knows. But yeah, I know Robinhood, their option chains get screwed up. I think it was, and this one is too, kind of same thing that happens here, right? We know it's in this range. Tesla did not make a huge move, and then at difference between 12:55 and 1 p.m., the price of this did not go up. Like, what was that, 20, almost 30%? Did not do that. Do I think Tesla will ever pay a dividend? Yeah, but it's going to have to be 30 years from now. I mean, the cool thing about them, the good thing for us and for me is they take all their money and they reinvest it and they use it for growth. They use it for research. They're using it for absolutely everything to just grow the company as fast as possible. Elon has said before, like, their only goal financially is to not go bankrupt. So they want to just spend it all, expand as fast and crazy as they can without going under, because that's the exponential growth that he sees to be needed to be able to reach his goal and to be able to essentially save the world. But eventually, all the needs for electric vehicles, all the needs for solar, all the needs for the batteries are going to be met. And at that point, then they could start paying a dividend. But I don't see that. That's like decades out. So we don't want to see, with a growth company, you don't want to see a dividend, because that means they don't think there's anything else that they could do with their money as far as growing the company. So it would have to stop growing at that point. Are there paid Discord groups you like, or any other favorite groups you like, you recommend for put credits bid? I don't like paying for anything I don't have to, or when free information is available. As far as, oh boy, my favorite YouTubers to like follow to better your trading. Let's see. I don't know. You know, like for technical stuff, if you can stomach it, not stomach it like it's really hard to watch, but it can be very boring. Like Tastyworks. I don't know if it's called Tastyworks or Tasty Trade or whatever. They're really technical, and they will go through so many scenarios, and it's kind of like being in class. It's definitely not fun or flashy or anything. So I like them. I think that's a good learning tool. But I don't watch a lot. Like I settled into this. I put my money up, learned some of it the hard way, which works better for me. Rather than, because I mean, you can listen to 12 different people and they tell you, no, this is the best strategy. No, play penny stocks. This thing's going to 10x. This thing's going to 5x. And it's too much clutter for me. And then that's why I just settled into what I do. And, but I think Tastyworks, Tasty Trades, one of the guys that used to work there, I can't remember, like Mike, he has some very good things. But the guys who are like really technical and boring, that's probably the best information you can get. I'm not a very technical guy. I'm happy to share my strategy, but that's not how I trade. And that's not what I'm looking for. I'm not looking for 1% a month or anything like that. Do you limit yourself to a handful of stocks to trade? Nope. I limit most of it, obviously, to Tesla. But as far as trading, when you're talking like day trading, I'll day trade just about anything, and I'll do it based on news. That's Buffett's perspective too. Put money back into the companies and increase the overall alpha price. Yeah. Well, it doesn't make sense. Like Apple paying a dividend. Tell me there's no more R&D, no more product development those guys could do. Like they have to pay a dividend. And what could that do for the company? I mean, once you've met your pinnacle, there's no reason for you like to grow anymore. It makes sense to pay a dividend. So guys that are just kind of like status quo, I mean, like obviously AT&T, they've paid some pretty awesome, and people buy that stock as a dividend payer. But it's not like they're building out new infrastructure or inventing anything or doing heavy research. Maybe I've answered this before, but how much time do I spend on this stuff each day? What's your day job? Or is it this? No, this is not my day job. So I do outside sales for a company. And how much time? I wake up in the morning and I'll immediately look at some charts and just see what kind of news is going on, right? So the charts will almost direct me to what I need to read or look at, right? So if there's, and I'll just look at the SPY, Dow Jones, and, but I'll also watch, usually before I go to sleep, I'll look at the futures too, Sunday. And I've always kept my eye on crude light too. So if something major happened, then I'll kind of look at the news and see why that was. And usually just on Thinkorswim, the answer is right there. Like, hey, we just agreed to a stimulus plan and we're giving everybody a couple grand. So And as far as like just time I spend on it, usually maybe an hour first thing in the morning, and then just periodically through the day. So I just have downtime during my day, and that's when I'll record a video and kind of like, hey, this is the trades. I don't post them all, but I try to, and half the time it's because, okay, I'll do this trade and somebody calls me or I get a text message that I really don't want to share with with a couple hundred people. What has Apple really innovated on? I know it's been a while. I mean, their M1 chip, from what I understand, is pretty awesome, but they could definitely do a lot more with that money, I think. Or even like fund other smaller companies or buy up small innovative companies, something. Josh, thanks, man. I super appreciate. Did you ever paper trade or try stuff out? And how long have you been trading options with put credit strategy? And what is the average of your width size usually? So I did not paper trade. I think paper trading is the correct thing for 99% of people. I have always been like, okay, I'll stick my money here, and if I screw up, I'm okay, because that's just going to be the cost of my education. And for me, I just needed to see how it worked. But I've done that, like, there's so many different things that I'm just like, I'm going to jump into this, and I'm going to plan to screw up, but that screw up is going to be the cost of my very fast education. I don't regret not doing it, and that's me. Um, if you are opening up something and you don't know how to manage it though, or have no clue, you could be in a little bit of hot water pretty quickly. And I've just been trading since on options specifically, like a little bit. Is it over a year now? Yeah, it's over a year now. So like so the impetus, like the start for the whole thing was I've bought plenty of stocks before, but it was when the COVID-19 thing first hit. Like it was still in Wuhan at that point, and I was like, well, if this comes over here and things get bad, this could be like really bad for the economy, for the world's economy. I need to learn how to make money when the stock market goes down. And at that point, I couldn't have told you what a put was, but I spent a lot of time, like all my extra time, and like once you kind of get off on a tangent, you can put 20 hours a day into reading everything you can get your hands on. I read some great information, I read some bad information, but I did spend, our company shut down for a month and a half, and I spent like every single minute learning as much as I possibly could. I feel like I got a year's education in a month. And of course, when you're super interested in something, the learning comes a lot faster too. So, what was your last question? Oh, the average of my width size. It's either $5 or $10 typically. And if it's something I'm not, and you'll actually see that, like Palantir, I played a $2 width because I just don't know them as well. Like I don't know the catalysts for any of their price action quite as well. I just learned about the company, love it, want to be in it, so I want to build a position size, and played that just kind of based on the recent reason for the dip. Sprint paper trading with options isn't always accurate. Oh. Yeah, that's the thing. The emotional side, you do not get paper trading. I think the most valuable thing is just seeing how something moves, though. I mean, even looking at an options calculator, you need to understand how something's going to move based on the underlying movement. Let me look at one thing here. All right. Well, So we've been going about an hour and a half. If anybody doesn't have any like last minute little questions, I'm probably gonna end it here. Need to go get some other stuff done. Need to get the new house ready. Hopefully next time I get to come join you from the new place. Since I've had a really hard time getting spread fills on Robinhood and very liquid options like Amazon. Yeah. Oh, that's a good one. How did you recover emotionally when you took that big hit? Man, I was it sucks. That was terrible. I was like, well, I can buy my car cash, and now I can't. Now I'm $20,000 short. But after you go through it a few times, it gets better. It's kind of like, you have your first relationship in middle school, and when you break up, it's the end of the world. And then you realize, a few relationships later, you can break up, and it still hurts, but you realize you get over it, and it's not the end of the world. How did you feel? Can you recommend to somebody who doesn't have a thick stomach? If you don't have a thick stomach, either trade like 98% probability of profit plays and just expect to grow super small, or just buy stocks. And if it's really bad, realize this might not be for you. It very well could not. This strategy may be not for you. If my last like when I had a couple days in a row minus 10 grand or something, 6 grand, I don't even remember now. Like if that's too difficult, don't do it. Oh, one last question: is a Robinhood a taxable account or an IRA? It is just a personal account, and yes, gonna get taxed super hard, super heavy on. Which is why I'm trying to move to TD, but they are just slow on their paperwork. My final thoughts for Tesla next week: trading sideways. With not breaking below, I don't think 770. I'll go with that. I think it will bounce between 770, 800 next week. It's my prediction. Unless something comes out, unless Papa Elon says something and it skyrockets. When I started with $500, what did you trade to grow your account to be able to afford Tesla, collateral, or did you start with? Oh, so I bought puts on the SPY. I bought puts on Boeing. I bought puts on CCL. I bought puts on American Airlines, puts on Expedia, puts on everything going down. But with my other account, my Tasterworks, so I started with $600. All I did was buy $5, or I sold $5 wide put credit spreads almost just entirely. That's all the account shows, except for broken wing butterflies on the SPY, and I think maybe two put credit spreads on Dow Jones and SPY, and that's it. Do you use dark pool and unusual option activity? I don't. Yeah, I just don't. So I do these. Yeah, great question. Yeah, thank you guys all for being here. I appreciate you guys super much. Appreciate all the comments, the love and support. Everything has been super positive, which is really cool. I do these every Saturday, so unless something crazy comes up, around 1 p.m., 1:30, so this exact time every Saturday is what I try to do. And tomorrow I'm actually going to be doing a podcast, so that'll be kind of fun. And I'll shoot the link in the description, like my next video is Monday or Tuesday or whatever, as we're going over things. So I hope you guys all have a great rest of your week. Hopefully we have a better one the next week. Let's see, how did our week end up? So we only paid $10,000 this week to play in the stock market. Not bad. All right, guys. Yeah, have a great rest of your weekend. Love you guys. Thank you so much. let's yeah, we're gonna go ahead and end it here as soon as I can find the end button.